Hi BookTube, welcome to my bedroom floor. I haven't filmed a video in an incredibly long time, so let's see if I can remember how to do this. Okay, so I wanted to talk about, I don't know if this is really gonna be my June TBR or just books I want to read this summer. I've just come off of my lowest reading month of not just this year, but even last year too. I only read 5 books this month, and I kind of had to force myself to, which wasn't great. But I've just kind of given myself space to do other things and try to figure out what brings me some joy. It's been a really hard last few months. And so I've just been trying to figure out, like, what do I even like to read anymore? Things that I used to really enjoy, I tried picking up during this, last couple months, and like, I would either DNF them or be forcing myself to read them, which just wasn't a great experience. So I have 6 books here that vary in topics, and I'm just gonna dive into them and see what I think. And I thought I'd share what those 6 are. So I will start with this first one, which is called The Last Goodbye by Fiona Lucas. This was actually sent to me by William Morrow, so really appreciate you guys for sending this my way. It comes out in the States this month, actually. I think it comes out, or not this, well, it'll be this month when you guys see this, because it'll go up tomorrow. So June, it's not a June 1st release. I think it's June 7th, which, like, there's so many new releases in the month of June. It's honestly kind of wild. If there's ever a time for book overload, it's the month of June. But this is a story about a woman who lost her husband a few years ago, and they were soulmates. They had a really great marriage. They say months ago, a few years ago. It's 3 years. So her husband Spencer passes away, and she's feeling kind of lost, and occasionally she'll call his phone just to hear, his voicemail and hear his voice. Well, she does that, and on this time, someone picks up. And so they start talking, and excuse you, ma'am. Sorry, it's my dog. So they start talking, and Anna's kind of figuring out what it means to be an alive, functional person in the world again through her experience. I think the guy's name is Brody. Yeah. So I'm excited to read that and just give it a shot. I like to read incredibly sad things. I don't know why, but I just lean into the sad, and that sounds like it's going to have a sad story, but with some, maybe some hope and happiness. Oh, okay. My dog would like attention, so internet, if you could say hi. Frankie, say hi back. Okay. Alright, well, you have to go now. I gotta finish telling the people about the books. Okay, thank you. This next one is called The Wolf and the Woodsman by Ava Reed. I've actually been waiting for this book to come out since February, when Harper Voyager reached out to me to help do the cover reveal for this. So I had done a little Instagram post about it, which this cover is gorgeous. I'll zoom in here so you guys can see this. Look how beautiful that is. This is also a June release. It just says June 2021. I'll put the date on the screen once I find it. I think it's the 2nd week of June as well. But this one is about a forest-veiled pagan village where Avike is the only woman without power, making her an outcast clearly abandoned by the gods. Villagers blame her corrupted bloodline. Her father was a Yahuli man, one of the much-loathed servants of the fanatical king. When soldiers arrive from the Holy Order of Woodsman to claim a pagan girl for the king's blood sacrifice, Avike is betrayed by her fellow villagers and surrendered. I don't really want to know what happens next after that. Sometimes you read a synopsis and it tells you too much. That was just the first 2 sentences, and that's all I need to know. I really enjoy this kind of outcast in a magical setting. I really enjoyed, what was that book called? Why can't I think of it? Was it Raybearer by Jodan Ufueko? I actually have it up here. Yeah. Raybearer was great. It was kind of similar in that way, where although this girl didn't understand the power that she had, and then started to learn about it and about her family's past with the royals, and I've come to really enjoy that, especially these ones that tend to be set in African-inspired settings. Usually they focus on, obviously, Africa's massive, so I think with Raybearer they kind of focused on it was either Nigeria or Ghanaian culture. I'll have to look and see what the inspiration is for this, but just looking at some of the names and things in here, it seems pretty similar. Anyway, really excited to read that and see what that's about. And then the next I have is The Remains of the Day by Kazuo Ishiguro. I have never read an Ishiguro before, which honestly, it seems like it would be right up my alley. I don't know why, but I've just always been intimidated by his works. I picked this up, and in the middle it says winner of the Booker Prize and then winner of the Nobel Peace Prize. And I'm just like, sir, what am I guess I just have to get over myself, you know? And try to enjoy it. It says, The Remains of the Day is a profoundly compelling portrait of the perfect English butler in his fading insular world in post-war England. At the end of his 3 decades of service at Darlington Hall, Stevens embarks on a country drive during which he looks back on his career to reassure himself that he has served humanity by serving a great gentleman. But lurking in his memory are doubts about the true nature of Lord Darlington's greatness and graver doubts about his own faith in the man he served. So I'm interested to see that. I know that there have been a lot of posts going around recently about how, you know, your work isn't your life. I mean, for some people it is, but like how it shouldn't define you in that way. And I always enjoy books that are similar to this, where someone has spent, you know, great periods of their life, or maybe have made great sacrifices for their work, and then seeing them kind of toy with that and like question it and see, you know, was that the right decision? Did I waste years of my life? Like, I don't know what's going on. So I'm excited to give that a shot and see if I enjoy Kazuo Ishiguro. I've heard lots of good things about Clara and the Sun, which is about a robot who is trying to understand humanity, I think. The Book Riot podcast actually did they do like these, I wouldn't call them like book club picks, because it's not really a book club, it's just Jeff and Rebecca then talking about the books that they've chosen. But they usually do a podcast episode about it, I would say once a month or once every 2 months or so for whatever book they picked. So I kind of listened to the bits of the episode, but I didn't want to be spoiled for it because I figured I would eventually read it. But yeah, I think I'm going to like Ishiguro. I think really it's going to come down to like their writing style, but I mean, I tend to like things that they recommend from that podcast, so I feel like I'm going to enjoy it. Next up, we have The Road Trip by Beth O'Leary. I had no idea she was coming out with a 3rd book this year. Well, not the 3rd one this year, but, you know, her 3rd book being published this year. Had no idea. I thought it was next year. This one is about a couple, Dylan and Addie, who had fallen in love. I think they were in college. And then they split up, and Addie's on a road trip, I think, with her sister going somewhere, and they run into Dylan. And, you know, cramped space, road trip situation, figuring out probably what went wrong. Can something go right? Will they, won't they situation. Beth O'Leary is phenomenal. I love her work. She writes the simplest stories, but she handles tough situations very well. Like in The Flat Share, she handled someone recovering from like domestic abuse. Not physical, I think it was just emotional, but still just as devastating. She handled that really well. She handled what it means to finally feel elderly and kind of going through the ends of your life and what that looks like in The Switch, which I really enjoyed. So I'm excited to see what she does with this. This is a kind of different topic. I'm sure there's something deeper going on there, but I'm interested to see what that's going to look like. Hi guys, Editing Rebecca here. Apparently I just stopped talking at the end of that video, so just here to wrap it up and say I'm super excited for all the books coming out this month. I filmed this without checking like the new release index from Book Riot, which was very stupid of me, because apparently June seems to be the busiest month in publishing this year, which is incredible. So I'm sure that this TBR is likely just for the month of June. I've put in a ton of holds at my library, and as those come in, I'll be sure to update you guys and probably post some new TBRs. So until then, have a great week.